Hi everyone, on this episode we will have a refresh on our suspensions, and right here on my table we have the parts for the Beats RS. So we have the RS variant and it is sportier compared on the other variants. So come on, let's check the parts that we have. So right here, these are the coil springs insulator for the rear springs. We have the shock mountings for the rear shocks, shock mountings for the front shocks. We have the front shock made by KYD from Kayaba. We have the new SR Special. We have the rear coil springs right here, the rear shocks, the front shock bump stops, front shock dashboot, rear shock dashboot along the bump stop inside. So you'll get this as assembly. Front coil springs, and we have some free nuts from KYD. So everything you see here is Belta except for the shocks, of course, and these 6 parts as well, these shock mountings, because these are made by TRD Japan, made of harder material compared on the standard one. So we are not yet installing a coilovers because we are not yet tracking the car. Maybe in the future, if we will clean the track, we will definitely install a good set of coilovers then. But for now, let's enjoy this. And we are expecting a bit of increase in height because currently the car is equipped with aftermarket coil springs. Actually, the coil springs, I really like them and they ride comfortably. The drop is, I would say, still on a conservative drop, but we need to increase it a little. We are expecting an increase of about 10mm once we have installed this, because we are installing the Belta body kits very soon. So we need a little bit of ground clearance. This is how the current drop looks like. We now have the car jack up in front, and our next move will be the removal of the nut on top of the shock. So we'll just loosen it up first, followed by removal of the bolt of the stabilizer link, and as well as the nut for the shock, these two. So once you have done that, you can proceed on the brake line. So for the sizes, we have 19mm on the shock, 17 on the stabilizer link, 14mm on the brake line. Then on here, let me just remove the rubber cap. We'll need a 17mm wrench and 6mm Allen wrench key. Jack up the arm to support the shock for the removal of the top nut and these 2 bolts. Adjust the jack accordingly to find the spot where you can remove these bolts with ease. Support the caliper with the jack stand. Alright guys, before we'll assemble the shock, even though we have brand new rubbers, we will still spray them with 303 protectant. But if you have an ATP 8205 reseal, it will be better. Alright guys, we are about to assemble the front shock, but we don't have to disassemble the old one because we have a spare coil spring upper seat. This came from Toyota Beats RS as well, traveled in less than 5,000 kilometers, so they are still in good condition. So for the comparison of the front shock mount, here's the old one, the standard one, and here's the TRD one. Alright guys, the shock assembly is now ready for installation. We'll just have to reverse what we did earlier, and then after that we'll do the other side. By the way guys, don't forget to torque your bolts. These 2 are 164 Nm. This stabilizer link is 64 Nm, and then this brake line bolt is 29 Nm. Alright guys, we now have the car jack out in the rear. First, we will loosen up this bolt. It's the bolt for the shock. It is 14mm. Then we will remove this bolt on the top
14mm as well. We will need a wrench and a socket to counter the rotation. You can jack up the axle to make it easier to undo the bolts. Instead of socket, we will try to use an angle wrench. There you go. We have the washer, and we will replace this one with the TRD one. Okay guys, we can now remove the shocks. For the coil springs, to make them come out, we just have to lower the jack. So there, they are now ready to remove. For the new and old parts, we are now ready to install everything back. The springs are now in place, and we'll just have to reverse what we did earlier on the shocks. So we'll just have to install back the support and the nuts. For tightening the rear shock, first insert the first nut and then follow the measurement on the visible rod. Be sure that the visible rod is measured in between 15 to 18mm. On mine, as you can see on the digital caliper, it is set on 18. Then after that, you'll then insert the second nut and torque this with 25 Nm. Torque the shock bolt for 49 Nm. Alright guys, everything is now installed and we have the wheels on. So this is the drop that we are getting on the RS springs. And we are currently outside because we will do the test drive. Okay guys, we are doing the test drive now. And we're currently on a road which is, I can say it's uneven. And for the stability, I could say it really improved. So the new SR Special are great, I would say. For the RS springs, you can definitely tell that they are steeper compared on the stock one, but they are not too stiff that you'll get stressed on a long drive. I hope you enjoyed the episode for the refresh suspensions, and stay tuned on our channel because we'll have more upgrades on the Belta project. So thank you for watching and see you on our next video. Peace.
Ice in my veins, I've been driving this train, years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame, cause I came to the game and I changed it to play.